Hello folks, it's Mr. Cranston. I hope everyone is staying safe and doing well during this lockdown. Today we're going to go over a couple of things, but it's not going to be anything that's too strenuous, so don't worry about it. So let's just get straight into it. Today we're going to be talking about physical fitness. Now, physical fitness is something that covers a whole wide range of different things, okay? You use physical fitness in every type of sport you can think of in PE. So if you're a footballer, you need physical fitness. If you're a swimmer, if you're a badminton player, a basketball player, if you do yoga, if you do gymnastics, physical fitness is important for everything, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today in a little bit more detail. And then I've got a creative task for you guys to go away and do at home, okay? So, our learning intentions for today. Number 1, I am improving my knowledge of physical fitness by learning about the different types of fitness. Okay, so in physical fitness, you get lots of different types of fitness. That is what we're going to be focusing on today. Also, I am learning to apply my knowledge by pairing different types of fitness to an appropriate sport. So the types of fitness we learn today, we're then going to match that up with a sport that we think that type of fitness is really important for. Okay, so for example, we might talk about stamina. And stamina is your body's ability to continue working for a long period of time. The heart and lungs to work for a long period of time before you get tired. Now, if you think of a sport where you have to be running about a lot and your heart and lungs are being used a lot, then that sport relies on your stamina. So we're going to learn how to pair the sport up with the type of fitness which is really important for it. Okay? We're also going to, point number 3, I am learning to pull all my knowledge together to create a poster presentation that demonstrates why a specific type of fitness is important in my selected sport. So that is our big end task. We're going to make a sort of poster. You can make it on PowerPoint or Microsoft Word, but I'll get into that later on. And it's just a poster about a sport you choose, a type of fitness that is important for that sport, and why you think that. Okay, so that is a summary of everything we're going to do today. Now, our success criteria. To be successful, number 1, I can recall and list the different types of fitness. Okay, so at the end of the day, I want you guys to be able to recall and list different types of fitness that we speak about. The second way to be successful is if you can choose and match relevant types of fitness to a chosen sport in your poster presentation. Okay, so for example, if you pick a sport of, let's say, weightlifting, okay, and you think that the type of fitness which is really important for weightlifting is your speed, that wouldn't be successful because speed isn't really important when you're weightlifting, because you don't really need to move quickly when you're doing weightlifting. So instead, something like strength would be a more relevant type of fitness to weightlifting. I hope that kind of makes sense. Okay, and the third way to be successful is if you can design your poster presentation and explain why the chosen type of fitness you have chosen, a chosen type of fitness is important to the sport that you have selected. Okay, so that is the 3 ways we can be successful today. So let's get into it. Now, physical fitness is part of our significant aspects of learning. This is what you guys already should know this, because I believe Miss Nowd and Mr. Bradbury have already spoken about this to you through the week. Okay, so if memory serves me correctly, I think you've done cognitive skills and physical competencies so far. Okay, so cognitive skills up here and physical competencies up here. Okay, today it's the physical fitness side of things that we are going to look at. Okay, and if it might be a little bit hard to read because this isn't a very good picture, but these are different examples of physical fitnesses. Okay, we're going to go into these in a little bit more detail just now. So, the aspects of physical fitness, the main ones I want to speak about today are speed, strength, stamina, and flexibility. Okay, as you can see, that is the ones that are listed here on our significant aspects of learning picture. Okay, now what I do is I swap it out. If you notice what I just did there, flexibility, I'm scrubbing that away, and instead I'm replacing it with suppleness. Okay, because suppleness and flexibility mean the same thing. Suppleness is just a fancy way of saying flexibility. But when I swap out flexibility for suppleness, if you notice, all of these different aspects of fitness start with S. Okay, so I call that the 4 S's. And that's just, for me, a really easy way to remember the different aspects of fitness that pair up with your physical fitness. Okay, so we've got speed, strength, stamina, suppleness, all beginning with an S. So picture a snake making their hissing sound, and that is your 4 S's. Speed, strength, stamina, suppleness. Right, next thing we're going to talk about is what do each of these actually mean, okay? So, speed. Speed is the ability to perform a movement or cover a distance quickly, okay? And some examples of sports that are important for speed are football, basketball, sprinting, and tennis. Football is really important for speed because you have to be able to chase down the ball or chase down an attacker to get the ball off them. Same idea in basketball. If you're doing a 100 metre sprint, obviously it's really, really important that you move really, really quickly to win the race. And in tennis, it's really important to be really, really quick on your feet so you can get into position really, really quickly to then play your next shot. Okay, because if your opponent is hitting tennis balls at you, you have to get to the tennis ball really, really quickly so you can hit the shot and you don't miss it. Otherwise, you would lose the game. Okay? Strength. Now, the definition of strength is the amount of force that a muscle or a group of muscles can exert in a single effort. Exert just means move. Okay, that's just a fancy word to say move. So it's the amount of force a muscle or a group of muscles can move or produce is actually a better word to use in a single effort. So at any one time. And some examples of when strength is important again, we've got tennis there. It's important in tennis because you need really strong arms and a really strong shot in order to play certain shots in tennis, such as a smash, to get the ball moving really, really quickly to win your point. Weightlifting is the classic example where you need strength. Obviously, the stronger you are, the more you can lift. So if you're in a weightlifting competition, the more likely you are to win. And in basketball, you need good leg strength. Okay, so you need really good, strong, powerful legs to be able to jump really, really high to get the ball. So that's another example of that as well. Okay, next one is stamina. Now, stamina is split into two different groups, okay? You get something called cardiorespiratory endurance, and then you get something called muscular endurance. But today, all we're going to focus on is stamina in general, okay? And it's more geared towards the cardiorespiratory endurance part of stamina. I don't want you to worry about that too much, but for now, all you have to know is stamina is the ability of the heart and lungs to work continuously. All that means is stamina is your ability to make your heart and lungs work for a long period of time before you get too tired and have to give up. Okay, so examples are, but not limited to, football. Again, I think I gave that one at the start. It's really important to run about the football pitch for a full 90 minutes of a football game without getting tired, because if you start to get tired, then your skill level is going to start to drop and you're not going to perform quite as well. This one down here is a swimmer. So stamina is really, really important in swimming. As many of you will know, if you've been swimming before, you can get really, really tired very quickly. So you need good stamina to be able to swim for a long period of time. Tennis games can go on for a very long period of time. Okay, so you need to be able to last the full game without getting too tired, because if you get tired again, your opponent is going to beat you. And basketball is just, again, same as like football. You have to last the full game without getting tired. Stamina is one of those things that, to be honest, it's very relevant to pretty much every sport that you can think of, because everyone gets tired at some point. So if you've got bad stamina, then that is really something you need to work on if you want to be good at most sports. Okay. And the final one, suppleness. Oh, don't know why that is dropped down there. It wasn't like that on my iPad, on my laptop, but it's messing up on the iPad. Never mind. So suppleness, that is just the range of movement across a joint. Okay. In other words, it's your flexibility, your ability to bend and move in certain directions with ease. Okay. And examples of where that's important is in trampolining, because if you're doing trampolining, you often have to move into specific shapes and be very flexible to pull off a lot of different skills whilst looking good. In football, it's also important to be flexible as well. And in this, I think this is yoga, but we'll say yoga and gymnastics. It's really important to be flexible. Obviously for a gymnast, because they have to bend and move their bodies in certain positions when they're holding different balances and performing different skills. It's really important to be flexible. Okay. Okay. So we've covered each of our aspects of fitness, and we have defined each of the ones we're going to talk about, okay? So today's task is your poster presentation. Now that we've spoken a little bit about the 4 S's, speed, strength, stamina and suppleness, I want you to show me what you've learned by making a poster presentation listing the 4 S's and then explaining why any one of the 4 S's is important in a sport that you choose. Okay, so your poster, you're going to talk about the 4 different S's that we just spoke about, and all you have to do is pick one of them and tell me why the one you have picked is important in any sport that you can think of and choose to use for your poster, okay? You're able to choose any sport that you can think of to use in your poster presentation. So if it's not listed in one of these little pictures I've shown down there, that doesn't matter. Any sport in the world you can think of, you can use that for your poster. Once you have chosen a sport, you should then talk about and think about one of the 4 S's and which one is important in your sport and why, okay? So, for example, if you pick, let's go for example, basketball, okay? If you pick basketball, you then have to think what type of fitness, speed, strength, stamina or suppleness is important in basketball. Tell me which one of those you think is important in basketball and why. Okay, just a wee explanation. I think speed is important in basketball because blah, blah, blah. Tell me the reason you think that is important, okay? Now, be as creative as you like and make a poster for your sport with some written explanation. Tell me why speed, strength, stamina, or suppleness is important in your sport, okay? The poster could be made on anything that you can send me as an attachment on Microsoft Teams, but I recommend that you either use Microsoft PowerPoint or Microsoft Word to create your poster, okay? But if you're having trouble using PowerPoint or Microsoft Word to create your poster, I'm more than happy for you to use pen and paper, jot it down on your jotter, or use a blank bit of paper and then take a picture of it, and that can also be sent to me as an attachment through Microsoft Teams. Okay? No matter what you use, your work should be attached and submitted on the assignment tab in Microsoft Teams by Monday the 8th of February. So this gives you a few days at least to make your poster as cool and as awesome as you like. Okay? So when you're on Microsoft Teams, just like you probably do for every other subject in every other class, you go to assignments, there's a little paper clip, you press a paper clip and attach your work that way, okay? It could be PowerPoint, a Word document, a photo that you've taken, I don't mind. You attach it, and then at the top right hand corner there's a little button that says hand in, press hand in, and I get sent the work straight through. Okay, that's just a really easy and quick way for me to see who's done the work and who hasn't. Okay, so if you do it that way, that is fantastic. Now this is an example poster that I've made myself, okay? So let's have a wee look at it. I've done my poster on high diving. Okay, so I've told you what sport it is I'm using. I have also told you what aspect of fitness I am talking about, because what aspect of fitness I think is important in high diving, and I've chosen suppleness, so flexibility. I've then told you the definition for suppleness. It's the range of movement across a joint. So far I've told you the sport, what I think is important in sport, and I've given you a quick definition of the fitness type. This big paragraph here is me telling you why I think suppleness is important in high diving. Okay, so let's have a wee read. Suppleness is a very important kind of fitness for a high diver. For example, a high diver has to be flexible enough to bend and twist their bodies into lots of different ways to get into difficult positions and shapes when diving. This is made even more difficult as they have to get into position quickly before splashing down in the water. Also, the divers are being assessed by judges, so they need to make sure that the dives look good to impress and get a high score to win the competition. So that is why suppleness and flexibility is important for a high diver. And then down here, all I've done is I've given you the 4 S's and listed them at the side, okay? So the 4 S's are speed, strength, stamina, and suppleness. Now, if we think back to our success criteria, we can see if Mr. Cranston has been successful with his poster. Okay, so if we think back, the first part of our success criteria was I can recall and list the different types of fitness. So first of all, have I done that? Yep, down here is the different types of fitness. Speed, strength, stamina, and suppleness. So yep, I've been successful right off the bat with the first point. The second part of our success criteria was I can choose and match a relevant type of fitness to my chosen sport in my poster presentation. Okay, so have I chosen a sport and matched it up with the correct type of fitness? Yep, I have chosen high dive, and suppleness is really important for high diving. Therefore, I've also achieved that part of my success criteria. Excellent. 2 out of 2 so far. The final one is I can design a poster presentation that explains why my chosen type of fitness is important in the sport that I select. Have I done that? Yep. It's here. That is my explanation as to why suppleness is important in high diving. So I've achieved every single part of my success criteria, okay? Even if I've only done that and I forgot about all this stuff here, I've still achieved 1 out of the 3 success criteria that I set today, okay? So do your best, see if you can get all 3 success criteria achieved in your poster, and I'll be really, really impressed, okay? And make it as pretty, as cool as you like. So that's all, folks. This PowerPoint will be uploaded to Microsoft Teams so you can use it to help when making your own poster. The poster does not need to be any, big sort of fancy masterpiece, but I'm really excited to see what you guys can come up with. So let's have a good effort and a good attempt at this, okay? If you guys have any questions, post them on Microsoft Teams and I will try my best to help you, okay? Good luck, folks, and stay safe.